Hello guys, welcome to our India IS. So today we are going to cover the next topic of economy that is very important, that is monetary and credit policy. So before going ahead, it is very important to understand some basics like listen, there is some like this is a market, and this market that management like demand or whatever the liquidity, all this is now it is managed by two agencies. One is government of India and other is RBI. So when government of India, that is government manages, it has two components. One is like revenue or receipts, and other is like expenditure. So it is managed by with like taxation policy, all these and expenditure means like whatever the subsidies or the capital means asset formation, all this through this government manages the market. And other thing is like RBI. So RBI also manages this with the help of like monetary policy and credit policy. So I hope you understand the means like how it works. So monetary policy and credit policy, like sometimes we feel that they are same, but they are almost same. But monetary policy is like, if this is monetary policy, the credit policy is like its part. So we are going to see how they are and what its meaning and everything. So in general, monetary policy is like influencing the movement of money in the market, that supply and interest rate, which affect the output as well as inflation. That is the monetary policy and credit policy general. So in specific, monetary policy means like making money available to people or in market, that is reasonable rates. Rates should be like reasonable, not too much high, and that should be adequate amount and at right time. So to achieve the following objectives, like there should be price stability, then growth, then exchange rate, financial stability with this. So then what is credit policy? So credit policy is part of monetary policy. Like I told you, this is monetary policy, this is credit policy, as it deals with how much and what rate that credit is advanced by the banks. Means like how bank is making money available to people, all this na, these decided by the credit policy. So central bank have two, what do you call it, two, uh, means like two objective or the two ways to control the market, that money in the market supply, money in the market, that is the monetary policy and credit policy. So now we will see the types of monetary policy. So there are two types of monetary policy, like expansionary monetary policy and contractionary. So this it is visible from its meaning also. Like expansion means like there is like this expansion, and contraction means like small one. So expansion means like decrease in rate. So if this is bank, if bank decrease their interest rate, so what will happen, people will take more loan, so this will be influenced in this market, so money will increase. And on the other hand, if there is increase in interest rate, it will decrease the money, so it will be the contractionary. So expansionary means decreasing interest rate, so it is called as a cheap money, while the contractionary, so there is increasing rate, so it is called as a dear money. Then earlier what used to happen, that monetary policy na, it was like up to 6 months like that, it was so it was there was so much gap. But after the Urjit Patel committee recommendation in 2014, after that they are producing bi-monthly. So many times you might have read in Hindu article, after every 2 months they, whatever the changes in monetary policy, everything, and they always write about like either it is expansionary or contractionary. Then what are the tools of monetary policy? So there are two ways that monetary policy is managed, either quantitative or the qualitative. So there are again, quantitative is like following ways, like liquid adjustment facility, then marginal standing facility, then bank rate, then open market operation, then quantitative easing. All these are the types of the quantitative tools which are used for the monetary, that is controlling or giving direction to the monetary policy. Then qualitative tool are of two type, like moral suasion, it is like moral persuasion type is also. Then and then selective credit control, it is also have two types, we are going to see later on. Then now first we will start with the quantitative easing, or sorry, quantitative tools for the monetary policy. So first one is like liquid adjustment facility. So liquid adjustment facility introduced by the RBI in 2000. So RBI, and see this is banks. So if a bank has to keep if bank has to borrow money from the RBI, they have to keep some securities like bonds, everything with the RBI, and they take loan from the RBI, or whatever they borrow from the RBI, it is decided by the repo rate. Means like whatever the like uh, means like whatever the bond or the whatever the repo rate, means like what at what rate that bank has to borrow from the RBI, it is decided by the RBI's rate, that is repo rate, also called as a policy rate. And if RBI borrows from the banks, so it is like it has to be reverse repo rate. So RBI is like bigger agency, so it can't pay the more interest to banks. So always remember, repo rate is always greater than reverse repo rate. Reverse repo rate is always lesser. Then remember, all commercial banks except regional rural banks and primary dealers are eligible for it. Repo rate also called as policy rate, I told you. Then marginal standing facility. So what is it? Sometimes what happens, bank runs out of the fund, they don't have enough fund to manage their whatever the daily requirement. So they can borrow from the RBI, but RBI is not borrowing them, not lending them easily. So they have to borrow at a penal interest rate, that from the RBI, and which is almost 0.25% of the that repo rate. Reverse repo rate means like if they, whatever the reverse repo rate na, it is 25% of more than this, so it is one type of the penal interest rate. Then bank rate. So what happens now, RBI used to earlier used to be give long term loans or long term loans to the commercial banks. But what happened now, after coming up that liquid adjustment facility in 2011, RBI introduced like short term, means a liquid adjustment facility is only for short term. So RBI discontinued with the giving the long term rates. So bank rate is now no more like a functional, it is just like panel rate. Then in 2011, RBI introduced the marginal standing facility also, which is also similar to the penal rate. So both bank rate and penal rate are same. Then deep base rate, marginal that marginal cost of lending rate, all these. And there is external uniform external benchmark, that we are going to see this. These are all part of the monetary transmission. So like means monetary policy transmission means what? Monetary policy transmission means like whatever the changes RBI have made, means like how or how much time they are taking it, so that banks will transfer them to the consumer, that is called as monetary policy transmission. So what used to happen earlier, I told you there was a base rate. Base rate means like below which RBI can't, means what, so below which that banks can't lend money to the people. So before base rate, so why there was need to bringing the base rate? What used to happen before, the interest rate was decided by the whatever the banks now, they used to decide at their level. So first, like if they have best consumer na, they used to give loans at lower interest rate. And but whenever they have to go give loan to the whatever the small industry or other like agriculture all sectors na, they used to charge them higher rate, because there was like more chance of defaulting all these na. So they used to charge them like more interest rate. So what used to happen, its impact, so whatever the social objectives of government like small industry or the like it was affecting inclusive development mainly. So RBI brought the base rate, means like below this, means even though they are best consumers, but you can't lend them below a particular level, so they brought the base rate. So you I hope you understand what is meant by base rate. Then but though there was a base rate, but it was not passing whatever the benefits to the consumer, that is monetary policy transmission was not effective. So government brought the marginal cost of lending. So before we understand what was the difference between marginal cost of lending and base rate. So marginal cost of lending na, it was just cost of funds, while the base rate na, it was the overall cost of the funds. So marginal cost was like little bit cheaper. So RBI felt like it will help in monetary policy transmission. So the whatever the changes RBI making, that repo rate, that policy changes na, it will immediately transfer to the consumer, or RBI that banks will take steps. But even it was not so much effective. So what happened, your government, that RBI brought the new concept, that uniform exchange, uniform external benchmark. Means like RBI said that we will give you 4 benchmark. You have to be align your interest policy with any one of the above, like repo rate, either 91 days treasury bills or 182 2 days treasury bills, or any other benchmark what is produced by the financial benchmark India Private Limited. So you have to accept this at least one benchmark of it, and it should be like uniform external benchmark within a loan category. So it was like to making monetary policy transmission effective. So I hope you understand. Now uh, there are other concepts are there, like reserve requirement. So there is a concept of SLR. I hope you people might have heard it is earlier also, that SLR means like statutory liquidity ratio. Means like some portion of the bank, some portion whatever their bank have their fixed deposit or the demand liabilities in terms of saving account, they have to keep something with themselves, and only RBI approved like liquid asset like gold or security or cash. So it was like one type of cushion. Means we are going to say what were the benefits all. Before that we see that assets which allowed under the SLR, means like how banks can keep their SLR in the form of either cash, gold, or the statutory liquidity ratio, that is securities and government bonds, treasury bills of government of India, or the state development loans. All these can be allowed as a SLR. Then what was the objective of SLR? So to control the bank credit. So remember this was the MCQ, means like it was asked by the UPSC. I don't remember the year, but this question was like use of the SLR. So one of the option was to control the bank rate. So how SLR controlling the bank rate? So with simple example I will tell you. Like if this is 100 rupees, bank have 100 rupees, but what RBI told them, you have to keep like 18% of SLR. Means like they have to keep now like 18% means like 18 rupees aside. Means like now RBI, that whatever the bank now, they have only 82 rupees to lend. So remember how they are lending, or that is a credit, that bank credit or lending capacity decreased from 100 to 82, because they have to keep something in terms of SLR, that is 18%. It is now 18%. So I hope you understand what is meant by, or how it is controlling the bank credit. Now to ensure the that solvency of the commercial banks also. Then government to, it was like SLR na, it was used by government to finance its resources. Means like whatever the resource SLR na, government use them, like these are the bonds of government na. So whatever the resources comes through that SLR, government use them to finance their various projects also. Then change in SLR signal the economy in terms of like long term basis, unlike other. Means like if there is change in SLR na, it means like RBI going to change something with long term basis, or if there is change in CRR, that cash reserve ratio, then it is sometimes like in terms of like short term basis. So SLR is long term change basis, remember always. Then SLR it is regulated by the Banking Regulation Act 1949, and now SLR is like their margin is from 0 to 40%. Now it is 18%. On SLR na, bank gets interest rate, but on CRR there is no concept like interest rate. Now there is liquidity coverage ratio. So liquidity coverage ratio means like in some simple terms na, bank has to, if there is any bankruptcy, not bankruptcy, but any difficult situation arise, or there is disruption, so bank has to keep some money in the form of like highly liquid, like cash, all these like gold, so they can survive for up to 13 days. If any case in case of there is emergency or acute stress, that is called as liquidity coverage ratio. Then there is a cash reserve ratio, like SLR, this is also cash reserve ratio. It is under the RBI Act 1934 section 42. A portion of the RBI deposit that bank should have to keep with RBI in terms of the cash. Remember, no interest rate, means like whatever the money banks keep with the RBI, there is no interest rate, but SLR have interest rate. Then CRR is made for the short term liquidity, while the management SLR is long term liquidity management. Then incremental CRR. So after the post demonetization, this concept came when the incremental CRR means like now CRR is 3%. So what RBI did, they said the CRR like 100%, means like banks have to keep 100% whatever the money they have to with them with the RBI, that is came at post demonetization. Remember, 100% CRR means like incremental CRR. Normally it is a 3% only. Then standing deposit facility. So what was the purpose? Same like post demonetization. What happened? RBI has to money. RBI has to absorb the lot of money, but uh, means like whatever the collateral or the government bonds, na, they were not, or securities, they were not sufficient to absorb that much money. So RBI brought the new concept, the standing deposit facility, means they can absorb the lot of money without even collateral securities, and it also came with the post demonetization. Remember, this can be the MCQ, that standing facility deposit means money RBI absorb without even collateral securities. Then open market operations. So there are two concepts like open market operation and market stabilization bond. This is open market stabilization. So open market operation and market stabilization scheme. So what is difference? So whenever RBI has to be managed or like short term liquidity, in terms of like short term or whatever the liquidity they have to manage now, so RBI used to what they used to purchase or sell the government securities. Means like this is, remember, this is government security and this is RBI. So what happened, and this is like this is a general per people or market. So if RBI sell these securities in the market, so this security will go to people and money will come to the RBI. So what happened? Liquidity in the market will sorry, decrease. So I hope you understand. So with this, they used to control the liquidity in market, but that but its availability or its use was limited. Means when they have to control the large liquidity, that then open market operation were not the sufficient. Remember one thing, open market operation, they don't change that whatever the stock of government security, but they just proportion of the money held by the RBI, commercial bank or the cooperative banks, that I explained just. And market stabilization scheme or bond, here for normal liquidity management there was open market operation, but when they have to absorb large money, then market stabilization scheme was issued. It was one type of sterilization issued by the RBI. This is same like, but when they have to absorb the large amount of liquidity from the market, then it is called as a market stabilization scheme or the bonds. Then what is meant by quantitative easing? So it is unconventional form of the money easing to stimulate the economy when economy is going to like slow down, like 2008 financial crisis in USA. So there was so less liquidity or less demand in the market. So what they did, they decreased the interest rates completely, so people were getting cheap loan. CRR decreased, so bank have a lot of money, so credit bank will give easy money to people. They even printed fresh money. So all these were ways to increase the money in the hand of people or increasing the demand. So another with respect with related to this, another concept is that taper tantrum. Means what? I will explain in simple term. There was quantitative easing. So what happened? One type of, like there was expansionary policy, like so lot of dollars or whatever the liquidity was in US market. So that whatever the investor na, they are coming to India, but at what means like after they pushed a lot of dollar or everything, their interest rate was less, but India interest rate were high, so they were investing India. But at one time happened, what happened, the quantitative easing na, that tapered, means like they decrease now quantitative easing. So then if the market liquidity is decreased in the market, so what happened, interest rate will increase. So the whatever the people investing in Indian market, they started going back, so it was affecting the foreign currency inflows to India. So that's why this is called as a taper tantrum. Many people have objected it. Then what is liquidity trap? In simple terms, when it is like from graph you can understand, this is rate, this is liquidity or demand. Even though rate is decreased, but yet liquidity is not going to increase or the demand is not going to increase. That is means like even though that central bank decreasing repo rate or the whatever the their interest rate, but yet there is no demand in market or there is no enough liquidity in market. Why this happen? People tends to hold the money or they don't trust that market will open perfectly all these. So they it happens that whenever rate are decreased, liquidity or demand still decreases with, instead of normally what happen, if rate are decreased, there is increasing, if rate are decreased, people get more money, so there is more demand. But in case of liquidity trap, it is reverse. Then now we have covered the quantitative tools. Now we will see the qualitative tools. So qualitative tools, now there are two types, like moral persuasion or suasion, means like it is informal or moral power, where central bank asks two banks like other na, adopt behavior where the interest rate with respect to like small sectors like MSME all na, they should be decreased. It is type of like moral obligation, all this. Then there is a selective credit control. Selective means like RBI influence the credit flow for the some sectors, that is the selective credit control. So there are two types, margin requirement and rationing of the credit. So margin requirement, like simple remember, if RBI is lending, sorry, bank is lending to any sector like industry, but they have to keep high margin, so fund will be get locked, so there will be less credit to other sectors or the with banks themselves. So what will happen, RBI will bank will demotivate to give loan to the such sectors, so that is margin requirement. So it was one type of the that controlling the tool for the RBI to credit flow. Then there is a rationing of the credit, means like it is a selling for a specific sector. So with respect to like uh, means like bank can't let beyond this selling, or not should be less than this, like that. So this is like of qualitative tools for the controlling the monetary policy. Then sorry, what is significance of the interest rate? So one important, inflation, whatever the inflation control, if there is inflation market, they will increase the interest rate, so inflation will decrease. If they want to growth, they will decrease the inflation rate, so there will be more demand in the economy and more investment, growth, everything development will happen. Then attracting foreign money also, I told you, if there is more interest rate, then foreign whatever the foreign investors, they will invest in India, all this now, so they will bring money in the terms of the dollars. Now types of interest rate, there are two types, fixed type and floating market. Fixed means it is fixed, decided by the central bank or any other authority, while the floating means like they are market determined, whatever the market na, they will change according to market. Then there is important concept, that is monetary policy committee. This concept came after the Urjit Patel suggestion, Urjit Patel committee. So in 2016 they amended RBI Act 1934 and created monetary policy committee. Remember, this is a statutory, because this is backed up by the act. So this can be the MCQ. So RBI, what was the purpose of it? RBI was targeting inflation, whatever the inflation, it will be targeted by RBI, but the inflation, what should be inflation, it will be decided by the central government with consent of the RBI. It is called as a monetary policy framework agreement between the RBI and the central government. So they said that the consumer the CPI, consumer what is CPI, wholesale price index or the consumer price index, used for the inflation targeting. So what was it, like 4 plus or minus 2, means like 6 to 2, it was the range of inflation controlling. And what was the composition of monetary policy committee? 3 members from RBI, 3 members from government. They will hold office for the 4 years and not eligible for the reappointment, whatever the members of the government. Total there were 6 members. They have to meet at least 4 times in a year, and decision whatever the taken by the that monetary policy, it should be the majority. But in case of tie, means like there is like tie, means like both parties like RBI government, means they got the same voting. In case of governor, will vote the as a casting vote, that is secondary vote. Then chairman of the RBI monetary policy is the RBI governor. Remember, this can be the MCQ. Chairman of the monetary policy committee is the RBI government. And it is important to understand another thing, if RBI failed to contain inflation for 3 consecutive quarters, then it has to give report to the parliament, that reason why it is failing, then what are the remedial measures they have taken, and what will the estimated time so the inflation will be come down. Al- Also, RBI has to publish 6 monthly monetary policy report also there. Then monetary policy decide the changes to be made by in terms of the policy rate, that is the repo rate, to continue the inflation. So that's all for now. We had covered the part 1 of the monetary and credit policy. Tomorrow we will cover the RBI and remaining portion of the topic. So please share with your friends, subscribe and like. I hope all of you are getting benefited from this our initiative, and if possible we are going to soon start the previous year question series. Previous year question series means like from 2013 to 2020 we are going to cover the like question means like question paper wise, like from first 13 14 previous year questions, from where the question came, how to approach them, all this we are going to cover very soon. So thank you so much, and please stay with us. Thank you.